big night in the town of Wendell. Um, this is not a joke. There's actually an arena in Wendell called Gooch Arena. Some friends went to an event there yesterday. I met them afterwards back at my buddy's house. Had some drinks, had a bonfire. Finished up the night a little bit earlier than I would have
Tight.
hoped. So when we got home, my brother and I were playing NHL 14 on the Xbox
Hmm.
3.
Nice.
Very, very competitive games. We've bought a bunch of old NHL games and we basically just had a competition. I've been winning a lot lately. We were playing, I was the Buffalo Sabres. He was the Carolina Hurricanes of 2014. First of all,
Eastern Conference Final preview, perhaps?
we'll get to it. We'll get to it. I got sniped on by Jay Harrison. First of all, Ryan Miller was awful that game. We ended up going to overtime. When I tied it, I had a really good wide open shot with the greatest player in NHL history, Tyler Ennis. I buried it. Mind you, at this point, it's probably 3:15 a.m. and I could not help it. I'm like, yeah, loud as hell. And I don't know for sure if I woke up my entire house, but I know that they heard it. I know that. And my brother looks at me, he goes, "What the?" End up winning in overtime to keep my record. Went 2-1 on the night. No, sorry, I think it was 2-2. I think it was 2-2.
Hmm.
Um, we were just kind of reliving about how throughout my entire high school experience, my younger brother, all he does is play video games and scream his lungs out. So I told him, I was like, I don't want to hear this from you. And we were just going over. I think my favorite one was he was he was playing MLB The Show, and he hit like really powerful, but the guy ended up catching it on some, like he jumping motion,
Cheese.
pulled it in, and he at like 9 or 10 years old goes, "What the what's that?" And my 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 dad woke up, barged in the room,
Get
and
off the
then
game.
unplugged it. He didn't even say that, he just unplugged it. And then friends started calling him. And my dad looks at him and he goes, I swear to God, if you pick up that phone. I was crying, laughing, remembering this. And God, getting into it, um, going back into these old NHL games has been a lot of fun. What's your favorite NHL? What's the one you have the best memories with?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't played the like any of the older NHL games. They're definitely like I definitely want to pick up an old copy at some point. But there's this guy I used to be friends with. We played each other in Shell. He whooped my ass every time. But there was one game I remember where I won, where he was leading 8-2. I was the Golden Knights. He was the Capitals. We were just playing some bullshit for some reason, like just online bullshit. He just started trolling me. He just started giving me power plays. But the only thing is I was scoring on those power plays. So eventually we got this to overtime, tied 8-8, and then I scored an overtime winner to win 9-8. Oh man.
What the Canadians should have done last night.
Oh, 9-3, like a 9-8 game. Like that would be the greatest hockey game to ever happen if a result like that happened in the real world, but that's never going to happen. At least,
Yeah.
while I don't know, not for a while at least.
Only has the ability to do that.
Yeah, but yeah, I might have to start playing those NHL games soon because there's not a lot of hockey left on the schedule, and yeah, and we're gonna get right into that.
This recently.
Oh, nice.
Well, what's kind of
That's
BS?
that's Eric Stahl, right?
Yeah, Eric Stahl, NHL '08. I wanted the full cover. I got it used.
Oh,
They just sent me the disc, so now I
you
need to
could
find
you,
the
you could probably
actual.
just like print it out and just put it in there.
Yeah, yeah, I might do that. I have way too much Kane stuff in this room. Um,
I got like a whole like night shrine up there, but I don't know if you see just in that corner, you see a polar bear in Arlington, Texas. This.
no way. You got the Stormy doll?
I think a friend gave this to me. This is a polar bear in Arlington, Texas. I also have this motherfucker, so I got
What's
these two.
what you know about the Seth Jarvis NASCAR?
You're at that game?
No, I wasn't actually. My mom was, and I was like,
Uh Giveaway. Welcome back to the Coast to Coast podcast with your hosts, Donnie Waddy and Olin. It is the conference final season, almost the conference final season. There's still a game seven, another game seven with the Montreal Canadiens that has to be played, but we already have one series set. We're going to talk about that and kind of preview the Carolina series, whoever they're going to play, because I have a feeling Carolina's going to win that no matter what. But it's the Hurricanes in the conference finals, so nothing is a guarantee, unfortunately. Donnie, how you doing on this fine Sunday afternoon?
doing great, doing great. Conference finals, pretty nervous time of year per usual. A little bit more confident going in than I was last year against those Florida Panthers. I agree. I think it's our time. I think we're gonna make the final. We were discussing last night what it would be like, my friends and I, the bonfire I mentioned earlier, we were discussing what it would be like for the Hurricane Stanley Cup parade in downtown Raleigh. And we came to the consensus that they'd probably have to arrest all of us for what we would be getting into with that parade. Okay. I love Canes hockey so much. Uh, Game one will take place while I am driving to Atlanta, and I'm seriously considering risking some sort of ticket by just putting the game up.
You
On
should how you have a brother, right? How old's your brother?
my brother's 19.
He could
Uh,
drive. He could drive.
yeah, yeah. But I don't want to. If I switch
Or
off,
or
you know.
you gotta like put the game on, like you gotta put the radio on at least. You gotta put the radio on.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to sync it up where we can get Mike and Tripp's call, and then also like see the game at the same time, and like
I
see
wouldn't
how.
risk that, but like you could do that on the NHL app. You can have the radio on the NHL app, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good feature, but that's always been like a consistently good feature about the NHL app. I stopped using the NHL app. Like they updated it like last season and it hasn't been the same as what I remembered, and it's just not the same anymore. And I
it,
re-downloaded it once
I will
and
say
deleted it again.
it. It's a little bit more usable now. Like it's not as slow. Yeah.
Yeah. But I also have I don't really have a need for it now. I have the Real app. Real, please sponsor us, Real. I'm so serious. I'm kidding. But yeah, no, it's the conference final season. Not a lot of hockey left, unfortunately. And for the hockey that is left, two out of the three series are going to be called by Sean McDonough and ESPN, which I'm not looking forward to, but that's a topic for another discussion. But they're not fully set yet. We have three of the four teams left remaining in the NHL going to the conference finals, but we still have two more. Last night, the Buffalo Sabres pulled off a monster 8-3 win over the Montreal Canadiens in game 6 to stave off elimination and force a game 7 on home ice. What does that mean for the people of Buffalo?
A lot, a lot. I mean, you've already seen the amount of enthusiasm, whether it's the Blade Gang that are skating down the streets of Buffalo and beating up mannequins, or the people inside the building, or even the people, drinking their beer savers in their front yards. They needed that game so bad. The way it started was incredible. Was incredible for Montreal. Alex Lyon letting up 3 goals on 3 shots, gets pulled. They put in Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, who I don't know why they went away from him in the first place. I know his game five wasn't the best, but he deserved a little bit more than that. And then they score 7 unanswered to win the game. Incredible effort by Buffalo. It's good to see their depth waking up a little bit more too.
Yeah, no, it's like I said Buffalo in 7. I'm gonna stick by my guns in Buffalo 7, but I also said Tampa in 7, which that series went 7. It did not go in Tampa's favor. But I'm excited for this game 7. I'm glad the conference finals aren't starting today of all times. We're actually gonna wait till all the teams are set. But that may not be something that the Hurricanes would like to do because they've pretty much gone on almost 2 weeks without playing a single minute of hockey. And I kid you not, I swear they're in Cancun right now. They're scouting just to be sure, just in
I'm telling you.
case.
They took the exact same flight as the Flyers. They just hopped on with.
I mean, you got like you had like a 2 week break in between both rounds. I mean, might as well take like a take a, have a 2 night stay in Cabo or whatever, and just kind of like get the party started, and then come back, get back on the ice, and get ready for a conference final series, eh?
We can't do that. Seth Jarvis would put on too much beer weight. He'd be too slow.
But he could
They
throw he would throw the body. He could throw the body now.
become a power forward overnight.
But we already have one conference final set. The Colorado Avalanche will be hosting the Vegas Golden Knights in the Western Conference Final. The Colorado Avalanche beat the Minnesota Wild in a surprising 5 game gentleman sweep. The Vegas Golden Knights defeated the Anaheim Ducks in pretty much what I expected, a 6 game series. Still pretty close, but there were a couple blowouts in that series as well. But the main talking point I want to talk about is the Minnesota Wild. The Minnesota Wild were eliminated in 5 games. I thought they would be a lot more competitive in that series. I think the Minnesota Wild have a lot of questions heading into this offseason, but the main problem I want to address is center depth because they played that entire series with Ryan Hartman as their first line center, and you just can't do that against the Colorado Avalanche, which is a big reason why I think, from a non-fan perspective, I think Vegas has the best chance to knock out Colorado before getting to the Stanley Cup Finals, even though I personally don't think Vegas will, unfortunately. But you can't have Ryan Hartman playing one seat for 5 games and expect to win a series against the likes of McKinnon, Brock McGinn, not Brock McGinn.
Brock McGinn. No,
Yeah,
he's
Brock
only
McGinn's playing on Colorado. Now, Brock Nelson, who else? Nick Waugh, Nazem Kadri. You can't do that. You can't have your one CB Ryan Hartman. That's just brutal. That's just brutal hoops right there.
lost all four of the center matchups, in my opinion. All four lines, their center just got outplayed by
Even if
Colorado.
even if Eriksson Ek played, that wouldn't have made a difference. Like
No.
Eriksson Ek's your one seed, he's going up against McKinnon, like arguably the best player still left in these playoffs. Like
And there was, did you see the report that they were going to trade for Robert Thomas? They were going to
that would have
trade.
helped out. That would have helped out a lot. Like I think it was Urov and Wallstead.
Yeah, that's correct.
I wonder if there was a corresponding move for St. Louis to get another goaltender or to dump a goal because you got to think because Binnington was heavily rumored to go to Vegas. You think if they traded Vegas, I think St. Louis would have been more inclined to take that deal because you now have Wallstead, who I believe is going to be Minnesota's number one for the foreseeable future. But
Yeah. At this
the
point, I
Wild,
would over Wallstead. I don't know. Like, I know there's a lot of value with Wallstead, but you should just trade Gustafson if you want to get
yeah,
rid of.
no, I think that's the plan. Gustafson has a big cap hit. You guys need centers. Trade him out to like a goalie needy team like Edmonton. Edmonton might overpay for Gustafson's duties, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, interesting time for the Minnesota Wild. The Anaheim Ducks, I felt like, they played their best. They just ran into a team that, kind of had that hunger. And after game 4 and another back-breaking overtime loss, which that probably has to be the best overtime goal in Golden Knights history because I think that was just batted with like a few inches off the ice. Pavel Dorofeyev brings the house down in Vegas once again. Golden Knights go 3-2. We'll talk about the Marner goal because I, oh man, that that was disgusting. That first goal was absolutely disgusting, but we'll get to that later.
I think he
But
ended the game right there. First goal, he ended the game. Like Anaheim had no response after that.
I think I saw like there's a content creator on Instagram. I believe his name is Ben House Blog or something like that. Ben House Blog. Like he posted a video about it. It's like, did we just see a step back hesitation in hockey? Of like, this is crazy. Like, but
The first time I saw the goal, I just saw him like go back and I thought he just went in like he backhanded it in something like that. I did not realize until the second time I saw it that he went
he went
between.
between the legs.
That was incredible. That probably in
Yeah,
terms of skill, that's got to be top 10 playoff goals of all time.
I think it's the best. It's the best playoff goal of all time. Like, not only that, like if that was like regular season, okay, that's cool. I've seen William Karlsson do that with the Pacific Division on the line in person. I was at that game where he did that. But to do it game 6 of a second round series and that first important goal is like it's like weighing on you and you score it like that while like take like snatching Dostal and snatching Lacombe's angles. Oh, absolute cinema. Like
Yeah. And the fact, I think it helps too, the fact that it's Mitch Marner specifically who did that, with all
yeah.
talk about him that he's never been to a conference finals. He's never really had that many strong playoff runs. For him to do something like that in an elimination game is incredible for him.
Yeah, I mean, the Golden Knights, they've surprised me. I thought, getting to the conference final, considering this is the most losses, total losses, overtime regulation that they had in a single season. Probably they're like, I think their third worst like total points that they put up in the standings. Because I think we only missed the playoffs with 93 points in 2022. I think something like that. But nah, man, like it's just wild. Like I said before we started the playoffs, I felt like the conference finals were like, okay, if you make it to the conference finals, I would consider this a success considering the context of the season. If you told me before the season, like, oh, we're just going to make it to the conference finals and get obliterated by Colorado, I would hate that. But if you told me the context of how the season went, I'm like, okay, I could take that, I could swallow that a little bit more easier, a little bit more easily. But
Yeah.
I know, like, I still feel like Vegas has a great chance against Colorado. It's just without Stone specifically and Lozon, it's going to be very difficult because Colorado isn't an Anaheim. It isn't a Utah. Like Colorado has a core that has been there and done that multiple times. Credit the core looks a little bit different now. There's no Rantanen, thank God.
Why what happened with Rantanen? Where did he go?
um, I think he's in a Cancun actually. Was I don't know, like Mark Stone. It didn't help that he was out for those like games against the Ducks, and I feel like Vegas beat the Ducks pretty easily without Stone. But this is the Colorado Avalanche. This is the President's Trophy winners who, if a curse doesn't hit now, it's either hitting this round or the Stanley Cup Finals for Colorado because they don't look like they're slowing down anytime soon. I think they have a serviceable defense and goalie. They can outscore the fact that those guys are just serviceable at best. Um, this isn't the we're just going to blow everyone out Colorado in 2022. This that took Tampa to 6 games. I mean, Tampa was undermanned in that finals. I felt like if Braden Point was playing and that was prime point, that series goes the full difference distance. If that series goes the full distance, we're talking about one of the greatest Stanley Cup finals of all time between two powerhouses. But
That was the no point warm-ups here.
yeah, the no point warm-ups. Every other tweet, Elliot Friedman farming on Twitter again. But yeah, the Stanley Cup finals are around the corner, or Stanley Cup final. It's either or. I mean, honestly,
But when you look at it, what do you think Vegas's chances of winning this are? Like if you had to put it into a percent, where would you put Vegas?
I would I would give Vegas a 40 to 35% chance of potentially winning.
I think that's fair.
Maybe 45 if considering if Vegas was healthier, like say if they had minimum had Mark Stone back because they were playing good without Lozon. If they had Mark Stone back, I would give them around a 45% chance to win.
Is he expected back at any point in the series?
I have no idea. They are being so vague about Stone's injury, and it was like no contact injury in game 3, so it's kind of like you kind of have to like consider the fact that it could be a serious injury. But Even then, I still think Vegas with the center depth matching up against it could match up pretty well against Colorado, especially with William Karlsson being back in the lineup. That Marner, Howden, and Carlson line has been going bananas in these playoffs since Carlson came back. And I think if everything can go in Vegas's direction, they can win. I
Yeah.
just don't think that's likely, unfortunately. I still think getting to the conference finals is a success of a season. Would I like to go to the cup final? Yes. Would I like to win the cup? Hell yes, but I have to be realistic here as a fan. Colorado is just too good right now. Uh, I'm not trying to jinx, I promise, but I Colorado is just a really good team, and I it's going to be a difficult series. I could definitely see it going the distance, but a few things would have to go in Vegas's favor in order for Vegas to beat the Avalanche, and that's just how I see it.
No, I completely agree with you. It's I don't know though, because I do feel like Vegas showed a really strong sense of being able to win games. And you mentioned this before, being able to win games that you're technically not supposed to win. You
Yeah,
know, those early games of the Ducks series, I feel like the Ducks controlled play and Vegas held their own and were able to squeak out wins. They did that in the middle of games of the series against Utah. I think Colorado has not played a team with the ability to do that yet.
yeah.
The other teams, they just try to park the bus instantly. It didn't work. The Minnesota Wild, for the most part, they can control play pretty well, but they're not going to be a team that has a wild comeback. And then they also decided to park the bus against Colorado and only defend for those last 40 minutes. I don't think Vegas is going to do that. I feel like Vegas is more aggressive, and their forecheck is actually going to be able to counter some of the Avalanche's speed, and that'll be huge.
I do want to add. I noticed. I heard some people say Makar is hurt. I still think he'll be available game one of that series. I don't know about Mark Stone. Like Mark Stone, Vegas has played well without him in these playoffs, but without him in the regular season, Vegas is a completely different team than the playoffs. And I know it's not that fair to compare regular season and the playoffs, but I just have to take any amount of context that I can. And Vegas without Mark Stone is not that good of a team, despite what I've seen in these playoffs. I think
Right.
Mark Stone helps out a lot, and you really would like your captain to be there on the ice in any capacity. If there's a way that Stone could play in the next series and beyond, I'm pretty sure they'll find a way and then, potentially get him like a surgery after this season. But I don't know. It's gonna be a very fun series. Colorado's a very fun team to watch. They have loads of talent. Same thing with Vegas. I think another big like X factor is goaltending. Carter Hart has been playing pretty good, and you can
Yeah.
edit this out. That's the only positive thing I'm going to say about him. um,
Nine, suspect 79.
but I think I would give Carter. I would take Carter Hart in a goalie versus goalie matchup against Wedgwood and Blackwood because I feel like they've been just average. And you
Yeah.
could win the cup with average goaltending. Like the Avalanche won with Darcy Kemper. The Knights won with the Knights won with Aiden Hill. The freaking Blues won with Jordan Binnington, but this is like rookie Binnington, so that's kind of like an outlier because he was just a rookie goaltender at the time. But you could win the cup with average goaltending. It's just
Yeah.
can you outscore your problems? And I feel like Colorado has the immense ability to outscore their problems, which is a theory that I had on Montreal, but we'll get back to Montreal in a minute.
Yeah, no, you saw it obviously in that game five against Minnesota. I mean, I thought Minnesota had them. They're up 3-1. They were controlling play, and then all it took was two really nice shots. Overtime didn't last that long. They just honestly making me eat my words. He's been having a great playoff so far. He underperformed in
Yeah.
Carolina, but doing exactly what he needs to do for that Colorado team. He's creating space. He's getting other people open. It's been really fun to watch.
Yeah,
I'm
and
very excited. And I feel like there might be a little bit more rough stuff in this than there was in the last one against Anaheim.
I just want to add to like just to go out just to kind of like separate from your topic of the rough stuff. I see a lot of people say that this second round has been boring. It's not been that great. You are not a real hockey fan if you don't like the second round. In my opinion, I feel like this second round has been pretty, it's not been the best. I can tell you that it's not been the best, but I can tell you if you're not, if you're only watching hockey for the fights, the physicality, the big hits, while there's been like that, there's been a lot of skill. And you saw that with Mitch Marner's goal. You've seen a lot of skill. Nate is setting up Brett Kulak's overtime winner. That took a lot of skill. If you don't enjoy the skill part of hockey, you're not a real hockey fan. If you just watch
There
the
have,
games for all the fights, you're not a real hockey fan. That's all I got to
no.
say.
And there have been that many bad games. Like when you look at the pace of play or even just like the excitement factor, I mean, especially Buffalo Montreal. I know we're going to circle back to them, but Buffalo Montreal has been an incredible watch. Like you literally can't miss the beginning of the game.
You look away from like 3 minutes, you come back, it's 3-2. Like, oh, you miss
They,
5 goals in a minute. It's it's incredible. Like, yeah, those games, the past two games have ended in blowout fashion, but those first 5 minutes, those first 15 minutes of those games, cinema. It's been cinema, man.
and before we leave the Golden Knights, I would like to mention John Tortorella losing the Golden Knights their second round pick because they wanted
Listen,
to make the team.
listen.
Tortorella thing ever.
I'm gonna be completely real. I do not care about a second round pick. You can go ahead and have that. Like I saw like someone say, "Oh, the pick would have likely been picked 61st overall." I saw past the past like best 61 overall picks. The best one there was Wayne Simmons. Like, okay, like that's not like a generational talent there. I'm okay with losing a second round pick. I heard we might get it back. I don't care. Like it's a second round pick. It's not the end of the world.
You're still in a win now mode. There wasn't a guarantee they weren't going to trade that player anyway,
We
whoever
could
the
trade it. We could trade players for more second round picks if we want to. Like it's not the end of the world. Um,
I'd say
but
the word is hilarious. They're
yeah,
like we're
it's
not.
definitely like a weird situation. Like, yeah, it's like okay, coach is not going to talk after the media availability, whatever. But I saw a lot of people complain about it. It's like, do you guys just not care about anything until Vegas does it? It's so bizarre. Like, imagine if like the Panthers did this. Like people would hardly like care, or they would say like, "Oh, Paul Maurice has aura or whatever." But as soon as Vegas does it, it's like all of a sudden, it's like the worst thing that's ever happened, and
I
it's
will say
ridiculous.
we're doing a little much talking about this. They're acting like it's the biggest offense they've ever seen. Like what pressing question were you going to ask them other than, "Oh, how do you feel about Colorado?"
I mean, yeah, it's like I feel like you know teams should have the right. While I don't really feel like it'd be kind of scummy because it is kind of weird that they didn't talk to the media post game. But then again, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like there was an incident last year when we played Edmonton in the second round where Hurdle like accidentally like high sticked, like he wasn't like watching, he was like he high sticked one of the trainers. Like he
Ooh,
high sticked one of the trainers and like people got so mad. I was like, it was a fucking accident. Like you guys are like nitpicking the smallest things to get mad about when it comes to the Golden Knights. Like it's ridiculous. It's like I have not seen like a franchise credit, there are valid reasons to hate the Golden Knights. And if you hate the Golden Knights for those valid reasons, that's one thing. But if you're nitpicking little things, like little minuscule things, it's like what's even the point? You're just finding a reason to get mad.
I am fine with them taking away a draft pick because it they did violate the CBA. Like it is
It is,
in
yeah,
there.
it is a CBA violation. I'm
But
okay
as
with
far as
like I
the
said,
second
I don't
round,
care.
that's ridiculous.
Like I mean, a draft pick would have been like take away like a mid round or late round draft pick. That's fine. A second round pick, it's extreme. But I don't care about a second round draft pick nonetheless, so that's all I'll say.
Oh, I just love John Tortorella. I cannot wait for his next media from. I don't know if he's had any big comments on it yet, but it should be
He
pretty
said
electric.
the team put out a statement, we're gonna abide by that statement. I think that's what he said.
Oh man, Tortorella's doing the HR moves now. I can't believe
They got
that.
they got I heard they were hiring a Marshawn Lynch for a media correspondent. He's just there so he won't get fined. But I heard like Elliot Friedman said that Vegas was mad about the McNabb suspension, which I definitely think giving a game was a bit rough considering he has never been suspended before. I feel like a hefty fine would have been okay. And plus, that was the first period of that game. He essentially missed 2/5 of a game, or like no, he essentially
Yeah.
missed 2.5 games, 1.5, or like 3/5 a game. What the fuck am I trying to do? He essentially missed like 2/3 of an actual NHL game. He basically missed a game already. If anything, like a hefty fine would have been okay, but the game's already been done. He's served his suspension. He'll be back in the lineup for game one against Colorado. To me,
Not a
it's
big.
just not that big. It's not a big deal. I get being petty about it, but uh, what's done is done. I'm okay with losing a second round pick, mostly because I don't care.
What did
um,
they do to the NHL? Because they do kind of hate the Golden Knights now.
what's
I'm
up?
okay. Is it Bill Foley that owns the Golden Knights?
It's Bill Fuller that owns the Knights. From what I heard, it's that like they've been like violating media protocols for a while, and like
Hmm.
last night was kind of like like or like the other day was like an official like punishment or something like that, which I've never heard anything about this until the situation just kind of just sparked up. But
Yeah.
beats me.
The
Like I don't care about a second round pick. Like what are you looking at me for? No.
the league is so petty. Like once you do a aggression against them, they will punish the crap out of you.
I just find it funny that the Chicago Blackhawks got off with a worse punishment or a lesser punishment than the Golden Knights for covering up a rape case for 10 years. But then you want to see me talking about
Yeah.
that? What the fuck are you looking at me for?
The Ottawa Senators losing a first round pick for messing up the no movement clause or
Did they
whatever.
get that back? I felt like they got that back. I thought I saw something somewhere that they got it back.
They have to pick 32nd, I think. I think that's what it
Hmm.
is.
Yeah, but yeah,
Can't
no, like
imagine for the Senators owner. Like they did it to Tom Dundon, like finding Rod Brind'Amour hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like it's like they're trying to initiate all these new owners and new franchises, and it's really weird.
yeah. Like I said, I heard the second round pick would like there's a pretty good chance the second round pick might be given back to us. That's it. That's cool. I like I said a billion times before, I don't care. We got Colorado to worry about. I'm not pressed about a second round pick yet. But yeah, should be a fun series between Colorado and Vegas.
I
We'll talk a little bit more about the Carolina Hurricanes after the break, and we're gonna preview Game 7 and make our picks for that. We'll see you in a minute.
The Buffalo Sabres and Montreal Canadiens had a very exciting game six. And then they are now going to game seven, which Montreal has been carrying these playoffs for the simple fact they're the only team that can seem to get to 7 games. Um, between these two, it's been a really high scoring matchup. Olin, what do you think? Who do you think is going to win this game seven?
I said Buffalo in 7, which I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't think in the both series Montreal has played, there hasn't been a team that's won back to back.
Yeah,
Like it was
Montreal.
like first Tampa, Montreal, no, Montreal, Tampa, Montreal, Tampa, Montreal, Tampa, Montreal. But this series has been Buffalo, Montreal. Okay, so Montreal did win back to back. They went up 2-1. Buffalo wins, tied series. Montreal wins in Buffalo game five. It's Buffalo. So if anyone's due for back-to-back wins this series, it's Buffalo, I guess. But I can't count out Montreal. I had Buffalo in seven. I think Montreal wins. I'm gonna be completely honest. I think Montreal wins. As much as I want to see that Buffalo wagon roll on to the next round, I just I don't know. Montreal just feels like they're gonna have their game ready against the Sabres tomorrow. Um, Definitely gonna be interesting though on the goalie matchup because both these goalies have not been that good,
Yeah.
with exceptions, but for the majority of series they haven't been that great. I still think Buffalo has a chance. I see it's more as like a 45, 50, 55, 45% chance that Buffalo wins, but I don't know. I feel like Montreal is going to take it. It's going to be a close one. You know what? I'll predict overtime too. I think we're going to go to overtime.
Wow.
Give me a 4-3 Montreal Canadiens overtime win in game 7. I feel like that's a fair prediction in my opinion.
It's the winner.
Give me a Mike Matheson blue line prayer towards the net in Game 7 overtime, and the Montreal Canadiens and the Carolina Hurricanes will be facing off in the Eastern Conference Final. You know what? Just because I feel nice, I'll give Buffalo a prediction as well. Give me a Matthias Samuelson blue line prayer. I love blue line prayers towards the net because they're just I think just having a puck just floating that bitch to the net from the blue line and just having it go in. You don't
They're the
expect it to go
antidote
in.
of the fat guy touchdown when the
Yeah.
lineman ball and score. A crappy D man getting an overtime goal like that. Buffalo playoffs again. If Mike Matheson ends their franchise like that, man.
Oh man. All right. What's your prediction for a game
I hate
seven?
how we always end up agreeing on these, but I'm leaning the exact same way. Look, Buffalo is going to have a great environment. I think they're a great team. I trust Dobish a little bit more than I trust Pekka Luukkonen right now. I've seen Montreal win a game with 9 shots. I don't think they're going to repeat that performance. I think they're going to not control play as much, but they're going to find a way to just make offense out of nothing. Give me a 4-2 Montreal win. And I agree. I think they're kind of destined for the Eastern Conference Finals at least. It looked like Buffalo all year, but they've been a little disappointing. They've looked a little slow. They've still been in every single game because of their immense talent, but I feel like Montreal's playing a much better team game right now, and I think they'll pull off the win to go to
Yeah.
Raleigh on Thursday.
Yeah. Definitely. I do feel like because I it's so weird because I like both of these teams. I like the direction they're going in, especially Buffalo, just to have this kind of season. If you told a Buffalo fan this like in November, they would have like slapped you silly. Like this was this has been an unprecedented run for Buffalo, and I think it's the start of something really special in that city because they've been waiting for a contender like this for so long, and not only that, you win the division, you get 100 plus points in the standings, and you win a playoff round against the Boston Bruins. I think Buffalo fans take that 10 times a week and like 3 times on Sunday. It's not fair to tell that. It's like yeah, it's obviously like a disappointment if Buffalo, sorry. It's obviously a disappointment if Buffalo, doesn't win the cup, but this is your first time back in the playoffs in forever. Like you gotta like
Right.
even like Buffalo fans, they would have taken getting swept in the first round if it meant that they made the playoffs. They would have okay with like the last wild card, last team in. They're playing the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Hurricanes just brutalized them for 4 straight games. Like they would have taken that in a heartbeat. But
I will say
this,
I am rooting for Buffalo to win the game. I
yeah,
would inside of it, I would rather play Buffalo than Montreal, but also I just like the city. I like Buffalo. I think they deserve it.
yeah, it's kind of hard to like hate both teams if we're being honest here.
Yeah, Montreal is very exciting. Very
With that
fun.
with that being said, eventually one of these runs has to come to the end of the conference final. I don't like that we both said Montreal, but I guess we can kind of preview a Montreal Carolina Eastern Conference Finals first. Canes in five. Like
I've
I'm
not
so
seen that.
sorry. I'm so sorry. Like to any Habs fan that's listening to this, you guys are cooked. Sabres fans, you guys are cooked. Carolina has had 2 weeks of rest, and while I usually would take a team that's less rested to start a series, not with these Hurricanes. Not with these Hurricanes. These Hurricanes, they don't feel like the other year's Hurricanes where they would get all the way to the conference final and get spat on by the Panthers or Rangers or whatever. This feels like a Hurricanes team that's finally going to like break out of that shell. And this is the perfect year to do that. I've been saying that since we started the mega show. I've been saying that since the podcast started, really. This is the Hurricanes year. You're just the next sacrificial lamb in the playoff run. And, you know, I'll commend Montreal if they take it beyond 5 games because I feel like a series like that can go beyond 5 games. But you're not. Carolina's just they're too structured defensively. They can they could grind out wins when they don't feel like they should win. Like especially those games against Philadelphia, game 2 and 4 specifically,
Absolutely.
they can grind out wins. And yeah, Montreal, you guys have Caulfield, Suzuki, you have Hudson, you have Demidov, you have Slavkovsky. Carolina has the best defensive defenseman in the NHL. Carolina has Jacob Slavin. Carolina has William Carrier. Carolina has shutdown guys and guys that don't even feel like they should be in shutdown positions. Carolina has great goaltending. Credit, this is Frederick Anderson we're talking about, so he could revert to Leafs Bruins series for him, but I don't think that'll happen, honestly.
No, he's too dialed.
Carolina just looks like the better team right now. They're plenty rested. That might show in game one, but I also said that might not show in game one against Philadelphia, where I thought they would win in six, and they ended up sweeping the Flyers. So I'm sorry. One of you guys has to be the sacrificial lamb to the Carolina Hurricanes in their cup run this season because it's coming. The Caniacs are coming. They're coming for Buffalo. They're coming for Montreal. They're coming for one of you guys. It's over. But in all seriousness, I do think Carolina will just overpower whoever's coming out of this series.
Yeah, no, everything you just said, there is a definite buzz around Raleigh right now. There is a definite idea that this team is different. And I mean, you saw it, man. Like they're not giving any room out there. They're not giving an inch. Ottawa and Philadelphia had a damn near fight for their lives just to get past Frederick Anderson. Just to even get to the net to get a shot on Frederick Anderson has been difficult. You look at Keandre Miller having some of the series of his life. You look at Sean Walker, who's shutting people down somehow. I will give, if it's Montreal, I'll give it 6 games, and then we can do a little bit more of a preview for Buffalo. But I'm going Canes at 5 against Buffalo. I'll give Montreal a little bit of credit. I think their ability to score on relatively low danger chances, which is high skill shots, is going to be a little bit different for us to play against because both Ottawa and Philadelphia are more focused on getting the puck in, cycling it around a little bit, getting some nice passing. Montreal can make offense out of nothing. But like you said, this is Rod Brendamore's March on the North. These are sacrificial lamb to the Cup final. Win or lose, Rod Brindamore is going to take over yet another Northern city. Um, and yeah, the 11-day rest is going to hurt them a little bit. Rod Brindamore is already has them practicing. They've been practicing since Thursday of this week, so it's not like they're going to be out of game shape. And I actually think that'll be beneficial for somebody like Frederick Anderson or somebody like Jordan Stahl. The X factor I'm really looking for is Aho, Jarvis, and Svechnikov have to do everything in their power to outscore Suzuki and Caulfield. We're not going to win this series without our top line playing well. We were able to win the last two because our second line has just been that good. But we need the scoring from Aho, Jarvis, and Svechnikov if we want a chance in this series. They're going to have to most likely match up against Phil Deneau in that line, and that's going to take a lot to get through. You can't overwork Jordan Stahl on the Caulfield line for the entire time. Like at some point, especially on the road, Aho's probably going to have to match up against that. We need the big guys to play. I think Carolina's depth overall will be able to outplay Montreal's depth, so it's going to come down to the offensive battle at the top. And, the defensive structure of the Hurricanes is going to continue to work miracles. Yeah, Canes in six.
Yeah, and I will like to say like not Carolina, Montreal's depth has been overperforming in the Buffalo series too. Like look at guys like Alex Newhook, Jake Evans. They've been outworking Buffalo's bottom six, and I think that's a big reason why they're in the game seven.
Yeah.
But Carolina is just so much better. It's just so much better on paper, and I think while you can't take everything on paper, it's something to consider. Buffalo, Canes might sweep Buffalo. I'm gonna be so serious. Canes might sweep Buffalo if Buffalo ends up winning in game seven. They might sweep those poor guys. But
Buffalo's depth has not been performing very well. They came out in
yeah,
the play game six. I'll give them that. Jason Zucker is alive. And man, turning point Tage not playing his best either.
yeah,
And taking dumb penalties. Rasmus Dahlin keeps taking stupid penalties. The Hurricanes' top guys would outplay them,
yeah.
and without a doubt.
It would be a sweep for Buffalo. Yeah, you're looking at no wins in the conference final, buddy. But I do think they could have a chance to squeak out a win, especially if it's like a close game and they Buffalo just goes on a scoring barrage like they did against Boston. But you're not doing. It's very hard to do that against the Carolina Hurricanes,
I
especially in
will
the playoffs.
say, in either series, I do expect at least one game where finally they break through. Like obviously, at some point in the series, they're going to score more than two goals, which Ottawa and Philly were not able to do. But I think if the Canes do lose, they there is going to be one where the floodgates kind of open a little bit.
Yeah.
And they might need that. They might need that adversity. You can't win every game by shutting it down. Sometimes you're going to have to be forced to go into a track meet.
Yeah, and that's not saying Carolina can't go into a track meet. They have offensive talent. It's just, will it be enough in some games? I personally don't think so, mostly, but they could turn it on, especially guys like Seth Jarvis. Like Seth Jarvis was pretty clutch in the last round, especially in game two. But yeah, no, it's going to be exciting Eastern Conference Finals. It's looking like Colorado versus Carolina, but in the NHL, it's almost never the top two teams. Like even the Tampa Colorado final, like the top two teams were Colorado and New York. Like
Yeah.
it's never the top. It's never the best two teams from each conference or the best team from each conference in the Stanley Cup final.
I don't think we've talked about this yet. What are we going to do if it's Vegas versus Carolina in the Stanley Cup Finals?
The
I,
one year, like the one year it happens is when we start this podcast. I think we should do watch parties if we could figure that out. Live stream watch parties for the games, but
I might not be
I
able
don't
to.
know.
I might not be able to.
Oh,
It'd be so nerve-wracking. I might not be. I definitely cannot text you during the games. I want to do a live stream or two, but I could not text you during the games. I'd be talking
it's
too
gonna
much.
be so tough because I obviously Vegas fan, but I'm also a Canes LARPer, and I wanted to see the Hurricanes have success. I just hope that's not it's at the expense of the Golden Knights.
And look, my initial prediction for the entire season, like when we first started, or not the entire season, but after the trade deadline, was the Hurricanes go to the Cup Finals and lose. Obviously, I want them to win. If they go to the Cup Finals, I'm happy. Like I know I won't feel that way after they lose in the Cup Finals, but I'm satisfied with this season and we can finally get
Yeah,
over.
I was satisfied with conference finals. If we make the cup final,
That'll be
that's
awesome.
a great season because that's a fantastic season considering the regular season we had. But
Absolutely.
it's going to be interesting. But if it's Carolina and Vegas, I
Dude,
we might
we
we might
might,
have
I
to
might have
shut
to
down
fly
the
to Vegas.
podcast.
I
We
might
might
have
have
to
to
stop
shut down the
here.
podcast. We have to
The
shut down the
preview episode
podcast.
is just going to be the biggest argument.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
even then, like Carolina and Vegas, obviously Carolina was swept by Vegas in the regular season. I actually had the privilege of seeing the game in Vegas. And then a couple weeks later, Vegas comes back and beats Carolina. I think it's actually the most interesting series that could
Yeah.
possibly come out with the last five teams remaining. I think that's the most interesting series. Vegas Montreal is also pretty interesting because it'd be a rematch of a semifinal series, which could never happen unless these teams met in the Stanley Cup final. Buffalo and Vegas is pretty interesting.
Jack Eichel Bowl. I'd say that's probably the most interesting narrative.
Yeah, but
Eichel Bowl.
Colorado Buffalo would be Colorado Montreal as well, and then the big elephant in the room, Carolina Colorado. That would be the best series in terms of like what teams are context wise. Like number
Yeah.
one seeds in both conference going against each other. Like that's something that doesn't really happen in the NHL a lot, and there's a reason for that.
There's
But
also the Marty Necas and Brett Burns element to that too. I mean, I don't
yeah,
think Necas Rantanen
Jack,
trade was
don't forget Jack Drury.
I want to. He's one. Look, I still like Necas. I kind of hate Jack Drury. He wanted out after like his first season in Carolina. It was ridiculous.
But yeah, the Stanley Cup Finals around the corner. If it's Carolina Vegas and suddenly we're not posting episodes anymore, you know why? We probably murdered each other already. But it should be a fun Cup final if it's Carolina Vegas, even though it might start a civil war. But
The Tani Wadi and Olin Civil War.
oh man, it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, we'll see what happens after the conference finals. There's not going to be an episode next week, unfortunately, because we will both be in Atlanta and we have an exciting we might have some content for you guys actually.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
gonna go try out a popular coffee joint that begins with a T and ends with an M Hortons. We're gonna be trying that out, and we may be catching a Hurricanes game at a bar. So that's gonna be
So
interesting.
we're going to Magic
Yeah.
City for this.
Oh,
Watch the Hurricanes game. We're going to Magic City to eat wings. I want
oh
to see.
yeah. All right,
This
yeah,
this
but
could be another situation. If the Hurricanes win on Saturday, someone might have to bail me out of a Georgia prison. I'm going crazy.
especially if it's Buffalo, because there's a Buffalo Bills bar in Atlanta, and
If we are pulling up in full Canes gear.
I hey, I got a Hurricanes jersey packed in my suitcase. I'm
Bring a
also bringing a nice one, but
Okay, good. We got to do like a jersey swap picture.
you're just holding both of my jerseys. But but yeah, we have some exciting content coming up. Hope you guys enjoy that. In the meantime, just enjoy the hockey because it's almost over. We're almost to the off season. A cup's going to be raised. There's going to be people disappointed. There's going to be people happy. It's just enjoy the hockey while we still have it because the off season's coming up, and it just felt like the season started yesterday. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Coast to Coast podcast. This has been Donnie Waddy and yours truly, Olin. And enjoy enjoy the playoffs. Just enjoy the hockey.
Let's go, Canes.